Hey, book friends, welcome back to Books I Read. I'm Sheila, and I'm so glad you're here. We're going to do some bookish things here. Obviously, it's a book channel. This is our buddy read, section 5, and we decided to go ahead and include section 6. You can see that in the title. It is called Yellow and Holly, but of course it says Yellow July 21st and July 22nd, and Holly July 22nd through July 24th. So we're going to be talking about those two sections. Again, as I said, we decided to combine them. And again, my disclaimer is we are doing Stephen King's The Outsider, as you can see probably in the thumbnail. This is not, I don't believe any Stephen King's books are intended for children or young children. So, discretion is advised. There you go. Alright, so let's get on talking about this. I think it'll go pretty fast because there is just like one major clue I feel like we're honing in on in this section and in the next section. Alright, so this section opens up, or Yellow, opens up with Ralph and Sablo or Sablo, whatever his name is. My husband's back here. He'll participate here when he feels like it. Okay? If you don't like that, I'm sorry, but that's the way we're going to do it. Alright, so anyway, so Ralph and Sablo, the two detectives, are talking in this restaurant. They agreed to meet at this diner or whatever. And Sablo is showing Ralph the photographs on the laptop of the buckle that Terry supposedly wore. And Ralph's like, what the hell? What's going on? And hold on, I will be right back. I gotta get this call. Alright guys, I'm back. Sorry I had to take a phone call. Alright, so anyway, we are talking about the buckle that they found in the barn with the clothes, the black clothes.
Right. He had took a picture of it on his little iPad or
whatever, that laptop or iPad or whatever, and Sablo is talking to Ralph, showing Ralph this stuff, and then they're saying that this crusty stuff on these clothes, what is it? It's black. What is it? What's going on? And then the thing that keeps coming up, and I had said it in the last clip, I believe, or in the last sections we were talking about it, last video, and that is the cut. The cut that Terry got
when he went to see his dad.
Well, yeah, from the orderly.
Yeah.
You know, when he helped the orderly was slipping on the wet floor, and Terry got cut by his fingernail. Alright, and then we'll get to that. But anyway, that's another thing that keeps standing out. And I guess if my memory serves me right, you and my husband, you guys can tell me, wasn't the one witness Clyde Bolton? He shook Terry's hand and Terry cut him or something?
He got cut. Something
like that. So now, is there something supernatural going on? Was it in Terry? And then when Terry, from the orderly, and then Terry shook the witness's hand, Clyde's hand or Bolton's hand, and now cut him. So is it this some kind of supernatural going on? And then as I was reading this with my husband while they're sitting in this diner, I'm like, is it a shapeshifter?
See, I'm thinking on those lines too, because, and I think what it is I think whatever it is, it can assume a person's identity by getting like some of their blood or something from them.
That's what, yeah.
So that's why it's got this little claw, and it cuts you, and it gets your blood, and then it kind of like turns into you.
Right,
and,
it can change it.
And then when it changes back to what it is, that black stuff comes. But I don't know.
Right. And then, okay, so, wait a minute. So, okay, and then we move along, obviously, and I forget who's talking, but they're like, hey, you see the burn guy? And they go see the burn guy in the crowd.
Yeah.
What the hell?
It's like, well, it's in the book. They start talking about it's like kind of like a vampire. It doesn't cast a reflection.
Right.
And it's like everybody that was at the courthouse when Terry was getting taken in saw the guy in the crowd, and he was like, I think he said he was by the news anchor lady.
Yeah, the news anchor
that got whacked in the head with the sign, and so they all saw him. But when they look at the footage from all the different news places, they saw the news lady, they saw the dude with the sign,
yeah.
but they didn't see the guy that was the burn guy.
And I believe Ralph and Howie and Alec, and I'm not sure who else, but I know those three guys meet and they're talking about this. Do you see the burn guy? Do you see him? And they're all like, no, what are you talking about? What are you talking
Well, they're all trained. All right, okay. Trained detectives are trained to pick out little things.
Right.
They see things even when they don't think they see things.
Exactly.
So when they go back and think about it, I think you know what kind of thing. I think they all have like photographic memories. I really do, because even my uncle was the same way. He could sit back and think, and he could pick stuff out of nothing. You'd be like, how do you remember that? But anyway, I think all these detectives, they can go back and they kind of sit there and they tilt their head and they go, yeah, I did. I saw him. And then they go look at that thing and they're like,
the footage.
Where'd he go?
Well, why can't
Which
we
way
see
did,
him?
you know, it's like, which way did he go?
So
you know?
I told my husband, I said, it kind of feels like we were playing Phasmophobia. You got to figure out what does a shapeshifter do.
Well, yeah,
or
you got these clues. How do you figure out what it is? That's like
trying to figure out what it is. And then how about Gracie or Grace? Her message, her dream / message that she's supposed to.
Now, is she really
Ralph.
having dreams?
I think so.
Is she having dreams?
I think this thing.
It.
Guy.
Wrong book.
Whatever
Anyway.
she is seeing, right? Whatever she's seeing says to give Ralph a message, and he'll go away.
Stop screwing around. Leave me alone, or else.
But it also
Pretty
made
much.
me think of Stephen King's Storm of the Century with Linoge.
Oh, give me what I want and I'll leave.
And I'll go away.
Yeah.
Stephen King, man. Stephen King. All right. So anyway, so those are the highlights, I think, in this section was, is it supernatural? What are we looking at? Is it a shapeshifter or something else? The cut. I felt that the cut was very important in the last sections when we talked about it. And then Gracie's dream of the guy that, and he was mean. He's not a very nice guy.
He wasn't nice
well,
enough.
obviously, if he murdered somebody.
He wasn't playing games. He's like, oh, I hope you cry. I hope you have it bad.
I know,
it was
right?
like his real,
I was like, wow.
Talk about an asshole.
I mean, obviously, look what he did to the little boy, obviously. I mean, ghosts and things and demons and stuff are supernatural. I mean, come on, even if you watch the show Supernatural, they're not nice. All right, so let's move on now. But before we move on, we are going to have a little intermission here. You're going to watch something else. You're going to watch us make donuts. Well, sort of. Just go watch it. It's fun. We're going to make some pumpkin donuts. All right, we're back. Did you go make yourself some pumpkin donuts? Pumpkin.
No, No, they went and bought themselves some pumpkin.
Oh, well, that's good
donuts.
too. That'll work. Pumpkin roll. My husband makes homemade pumpkin rolls. So does Benjamin because he made them with his dad, so they're really good. Anyway, let's get back on track. Holly, July 22nd to July 24th. So Alec is the one that hired Holly, right?
Correct.
Alec did? I'm pretty sure. And Holly is from Finders Keeper. That's her company or whatever. She investigates. She's a detective.
She's an investigator,
not a reporter.
Yeah,
She's an
I'm not a
investigator.
detective. I'm not a reporter. I'm a detective.
Right.
I'm an investigator.
Right? So she goes to Dayton and she's visiting the nursing home where Terry's dad is at.
Right.
But the one nurse won't let her in there because
I think it's like those people at the desk, like with
yeah.
you have to sign in, and they ask
prove
you, like,
who you are.
who the heck are you? Because they don't want any old crazy person going in there. So yeah.
But again, Holly meets, what is her name, Kelly? One of the ladies coming out of the nursing home. She follows her.
Yeah,
or something
she
like that.
follows her all the way across town for
something like that. But anyway,
reason.
she's going to question her, Candy Kelly or something like that. And she's like, hey, can you answer some questions I have? I'm not a reporter. I'm an investigator. I'm investigating this, yada, yada, yada. Candy says, fine, give me $250 and I'll answer anything you want to know.
Right.
So Holly and this lady, Candy, I'm pretty sure her name's Candy, they sit down and Holly starts asking her questions. And what comes up? The cut.
Yep.
The cut comes up. And the orderly, they talk about the orderly. That was the thing that stood out, was the orderly slipping on the floor and cutting Terry's hand or wrist with that fingernail thing.
Well, and then she brings up the whole, there's an exactly, or a similar but almost identical crime.
Right.
That happened
Wasn't that
across the country.
Wasn't that the orderly though?
Yeah.
Heath
the orderly.
Heath Holmes.
Yeah.
He yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And go figure, and then he ends up getting killed too.
Well, he commits suicide in his mom's basement.
So that people say he did. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what they say.
But
and then his mom.
But every
or something like that. Or or were you right? He got killed, and then his mom committed suicide in the basement. Something like that.
Something like that. But anyway, they had like a mere crime.
Right.
Across the country, where they thought that he was in two places because it was the same thing.
Yeah, the surveillance thing. Everybody's seen him.
Yep.
All right, but what I thought was interesting though is that Terry bumped into the orderly. These two supposed killers, and then Terry shook hands with Clyde Bolton. I forget who, one of the witnesses, I guess they knew each other obviously in the town. I forget what he shook Terry's hand for, but then Terry had scraped him with a fingernail. So, who did it? Heath Holmes, Terry, because of this scrape, and or Clyde Bolton. Did Clyde Bolton do it because of this scrape or this?
Do you ever think? Okay,
this shapeshifter is what I keep coming back to.
If this thing can take somebody's shape,
right?
Then what was when they had the thing out in front of the courthouse? When everybody said, "Well, why didn't we see him?" Maybe he took the shape of somebody else. And you couldn't see him because he was looking like somebody else.
Maybe he looked like Ollie. But Ollie Peterson, no, he couldn't have been Ollie.
No, I think if he just sort of all of a sudden just vanished, maybe he took the shape of another person.
Took another shape of somebody else.
Because he had that thing over his head, so nobody would have seen what he looked like anyway.
True. So, what do we have going on now? What do you guys think? Do you think that we have some kind of supernatural, some kind of shapeshifter? That's what I'm thinking. Some kind of supernatural shapeshifter thing. Something kind of like in Storm of the Century is what I'm kind of feeling here. Mm-hmm. Stephen King, supernatural vibes. I should have known he was going to go that way. He always goes the supernatural way.
Yeah, we're only a little over halfway through the book here.
And we're almost there. I hope you guys didn't mind that we combined the two sections. I just felt it was easier, and being that the highlight in these two sections was mostly about the cut, the burned guy.
Well, right now they're trying, because they're wanting to meet with that lady, investigator and combine what they got going on so they can figure out what the heck is actually going down, because she wants to meet.
Right, well, at the end, we'll close here, at the end of Holly's section, or section 6. So Holly gets this green light from Mr. Pelly to talk to Howie Gold and all of that jazz, so they could all sit down, as my husband just said. Alright? And she says, okay, alright, she felt guilty, not guilty, giddy, I will. And she says, you really don't believe Terry killed the Peterson boy? No more than I think Heath Holmes killed those 2 girls, she said. I think it was someone else. I think it was an outsider. Dum dum dum.
Dum dum dum.
So, this is so interesting. It's getting so good. I love it so far. How do you guys feel about the book? I mean, we're a little more than halfway now, obviously. Probably, what, about 60%? I'm getting so excited now. I can't wait to read more. And I hope you feel the same way. So, make sure you continue with us, and or to be continued in the next section or 2. I'm not sure how many we'll do, but you will find out in that next video. But anyway, we will see you then. Bye!